Living among us, some people tend to have far more financial stability than we can ever attain. Their luxuries will make you gasp and stare in awe. Their taste in stuff will make your jaw drop, and their standards will make you question your existence. Yes, we're talking about billionaires, and if you think about it, there's so much to talk about. According to a recent study, an average billionaire has only 1% of his entire earnings and savings in the form of liquid wealth. That means if a billionaire like Jeff Bezos swipes his credit card, it won't be surprising to see only a few $1,000s in his bank account. Why is that? Where do billionaires keep their money? Stick to the end of the video to find out. Let's get started. Where do the billionaires keep their money? An extremely innocent question. Why don't billionaires keep their money in banks, in the form of cash, just like any normal person would? It is because this might make them extremely visible and noticeable for the authorities and the government. And why is that bad? That means they will have to be accountable for every single penny that they have in their bank accounts. They'll have to pay taxes and answer to the government where the money came from. Not only that, the fact that if you want to be successful, you have to invest your money in more than one place, and keeping it in bits in a different field is extremely important as well. Take a look at all the billionaires in the world. Do you think that Bill Gates invested in only one business? Do you think that Jeff Bezos has all of his money in one place? And do you really think that Tesla is the only thing that is profiting Elon Musk so much? It goes without saying that life is unpredictable. If you have all of your money invested in only one business, and suddenly something unfortunate happens and you have to suffer from a big loss, that means all of your investments will be gone to waste. On the other hand, if you have invested relatively smaller shares in different businesses, then you have more chances of being successful. How? For example, if you invest in one business and after some time it suffers a major loss, what do you think will happen to the money that you invested? That's right, you will lose all of it. On the other hand, if you have invested relatively smaller amounts in different businesses and have your finances scattered, threats like unstable business, fluctuating currency value, and mishaps would be very less damaging in real life. Number 1. Is it even surprising? A bank. They keep it in a bank. But the bank that they keep their money in is quite different from the one where we keep our money. How? Think of it yourself. Your bank account might have a few thousand over maybe a million. On the other hand, even though we said that an average billionaire only keeps 1% of his earnings in the form of liquid assets, it still means that their bank account is as heavy as it can be without attracting any negative or unnecessary attention that might make them accountable for every single penny that they own. This is why banks have special services that are meant to serve and satisfy their extremely rich and precious customers. For example, there is a private wealth division meant for their wealthy clients that happen to have a jaw-dropping net worth. These clients are called HNW clients. These high net worth clients deal in millions and require special security and privacy to keep themselves shielded from authorities and negative attention. Being a high net worth client also has its little perks. The perks might not matter to them, but for us, as regular citizens, the perks mean a lot. For example, if you are a high net worth client who requires a private wealth division, then it goes without saying that you will have your cashier, a manager to deal with your matters, and some other interesting perks, like you won't have to pay for cashier's checks or the wire transfer fee. Now, this might not seem very attractive for someone who happens to be a billionaire, but for people like us who are not filthy rich, these little perks seem quite attractive and awesome. So the bank might be a good option for millionaires to keep their money. But there's a certain amount you can put in your bank account and not attract any unnecessary attention. If you're continuously adding and withdrawing large amounts, people will start being suspicious and it might get you stuck in legal issues. So the bank isn't always the best option for you to keep your money in. Then what might be a good alternative? Let's take a look at a few billionaires and where they keep their money so we can understand the entire thing a little better. Jeff Bezos. Who should we talk about? What about Jeff Bezos? That seems like a good start. What do you think? Where does the guy keep his money? Not in his bank account. Well, not all of it. The guy keeps a very regular and reasonable amount in his bank account. But at the same time, he is undeniably one of the richest people on Earth. How does he manage to be the richest man on Earth and keep a few $1,000s in his bank account? Easy. He invests it in different fields and keeps testing his limits. For example, the business tycoon owns a 3% stake in the Business Insider, an and everyone knows how popular that website is. Whatever you try to Google, don't be surprised if you see Business Insider in your recommendations and results. This website is extremely famous and tells the global technology, finance, markets, media, healthcare, and strategy stories. Long story short, the Business Insider tells everything about everything. And on top of that, one of the richest men on earth happens to own 3% shares in it. Not only Business Insider, but Jeff Bezos also happens to be a very important and strong shareholder in Unity Biotech. For those who don't know, Unity Biotech is a very famous and resourceful research firm that focuses on preparing anti-aging medicines, treatments, and its area of research is related to fighting aging neighborhoods and the building of the human body. Due to Bezos being a very important shareholder, some people even speculate and talk about how he might be investing in it to get closer and closer to immortality.
If you could write your legacy, what would you want your legacy?
World's oldest man.
Well, whatever it is, it's not as surprising as the fact that Jeff Bezos happens to be a shareholder of something extremely amusing and surprisingly relaxing. Can you think of it? Let's give you a hand. Whenever you're exhausted after a long day and want to take a long and luxurious bath where you try to pamper yourself as much as you can, what is the first thing that you look for? Fancy candles. That's right. One of the richest men on earth happens to be a proud shareholder of Glassy Baby. The guy doesn't make candles. Instead, he prepares the fancy little glasses in which the candle wax is poured and cooled. Also, how can we forget the Airbnbs owned by Jeff Bezos, especially when they cost $112 million? See? The guy's bank account might have a few $1,000s, but that doesn't mean he is not filthy rich. Besides investing in some research that focuses on fighting aging and getting closer to immortality, and owning a lot of Airbnbs, Jeff Bezos also happens to have extremely significant shares in Uber. The market value of Uber is a lot. But we could not forget the $37 million invested by Jeff Bezos, and how it's going to profit him even after he dies. Hey, his children can live off of it. Bill Gates. Now let's talk about our next extremely wealthy and smart billionaire. That's right. We're talking about Bill Gates. A little difference between Bill Gates and other billionaires is that others directly invest in business and research under their own names. On the other hand, Bill Gates invests in business, research, companies, and other stuff through his Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Now everyone knows that Gates isn't that fancy and loves to be a regular guy, but no one can ignore the gasps and dropping jaws when people found out about his Berkshire Hathaway shares that were worth $50 million. So needless to say, this investment was extremely surprising and impressive. But the next major investment of Bill Gates might shock you. He invested in the trash. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the green trucks that might be roaming around your neighborhood in the morning or the evening are somehow linked to one of the richest men on earth.
Electricity, it generates clean water.
It will grow to every corner of the earth that needs it because it makes money every day.
It's water.
But to be very honest, this investment might seem a little odd, but it is extremely impressive. Instead of investing in stuff that is over the top, luxurious, and beyond the reach of a regular guy who works a 9-to-5 job, people can invest in services that are more approachable by the regular man and other consumers. The more approachable and common part of your daily routine it is, the more successful it'll be. Bill Gates cracked this code and happens to own shares worth $18.6 million in the waste management truck business. Its entire market value is about $2.1 billion, so saying that Bill Gates' decision was wrong would be quite wrong. Mark Zuckerberg. Our next billionaire who doesn't believe in keeping his money in the bank and is quite innovative when it comes to taking care of his finances is none other than Mark Zuckerberg. No matter how much the trolls make fun of the founder of Facebook, nothing changes the fact that his net worth is $116.1 billion. But where does he keep his money? The god of Facebook apparently likes to invest in property or real estate. Everyone knows how volatile the real estate market gets every once in a while. Still, it is never a bad idea to invest in property, especially when you're earning as much as Zuckerberg is, and you want to stay off the radar and away from the authorities and too much attention or taxes. Zuckerberg happens to own a $100 million property in Hawaii and a $59 million property in Lake Tahoe. The list doesn't end here, as this guy has invested his money in real estate throughout the United States. Besides Hawaii and Lake Tahoe, Silicon Valley happens to be one of his favorite locations when it comes to investing money in real estate. And it's not like Mark Zuckerberg is the only billionaire who likes to invest invest in real estate? Unlike Bill Gates, who's known for his casual and laid-back choices and decisions, Jeff Bezos is also a big fan of investing in real estate. Therefore, he is the 25th biggest landowner in the world. So besides investing it in different businesses, real estate, properties, and various projects, billionaires try their best to keep their money in scattered form, so it is harder to detect or suffer from a loss that might leave you bankrupt. Alright folks, that was all for today's video. Today we talked about where billionaires keep their money, and honestly, the answer is everywhere. Ever wondered how the richest CEOs travel? Click on this video right there on the screen to find out. Till next time.